Okay, hey folks. Couple games since our last chat. A few minor lineup changes and some stability in net. A couple of nice wins. We're going to break it all down for you right here on the OZone.
You're in the offensive zone. Your place for Leafs hockey.
Hey folks, welcome to the OZone. That's Coach. That's Katie, and I'm the Devo. We're here to talk all things Leafs. Listen, folks, remember, hit subscribe, ring the little bell. You will never miss any content. Also, like the video, share the video. It helps broaden the audience. And, of course, leave a comment. We listen, we take it seriously, and it helps us get better. All right. The Leafs hosted Dallas on Thursday, a little OT winner. Bit of a coming out party for Nick Robertson. Then they roll out to start their Western road trip to Winnipeg with a little bit of a chippy one. KD, what'd you see? What'd you like?
Well, on the like side, it does look like the team is starting to play a little better as a unit. Certainly, I like the D. I like the D pairings. I thought they're working, galvanizing a little more. There's still lots of work to do, and there's still mistakes. But we'll let Coach talk about some of the individual players. But I'm pleased with some of the matchups and some of the combos they've been using back there. So all things good. They played two big, heavy, aggressive teams. And they came out and they handled both of them. And that's a good sign. Actually, the Leafs do a pretty good job against the big, aggressive teams. They tend to have more problems with teams that trap and play back. But always good to, you beat a rival like Winnipeg and they don't get along, and so it's always nice to beat them in their own barn. And Dallas is a good team. I mean, they've got lots of talent and they're big and they're fast. So I'm pleased with two W's there. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, it's a great point. Coach, listen, before we get into your section, I know you've been on the road a little bit, so maybe it's a good time for us to do a little bit of what we like to do around here. Where's Coach?
Okay, guys. Yeah, where's Coach? Love this segment. This will be a quick one. I had to watch the last two games recorded, after the fact, because we had our Texas Tigers team up in Detroit for a tournament. This is not Wayne Simmons, guys. This is the Fist, the Joe Louis memorial there downtown, right in Detroit. You look over the river, you can see Windsor on the other side. So that's pretty cool. And then hey, we're walking around downtown. It's pretty cool. The Ford Field's right there, Comerica Park. Comerica Park was open. So we walked in, got to take a little tour inside the ballpark. So that was great. Team went 1-2-1. Man, big and fast teams we played against. So it'll be good for our boys to play that kind of competition. So, as I said, getting back to what I liked, I did get a chance to see these games. And, we're 6 games in now, guys. And so we can start to form some opinions. We're 4-2 with Matthews not really scoring yet. Okay, so that's really encouraging for us. He's shooting 3.6%. He's at a 17% for his career. He's going to score. He leads the team in shots. It's going to start going in. But we're finding ways to win games. That's really encouraging. The second line has been terrific through 6 games. Tavares leads the league or leads the team with 7 points. He also leads with 3 goals, tied with Nylander. That line's been good. I think Nick Robertson, we all 3 of us had Nick Robertson drawn in for Dallas, and he needs to make a statement, and he's made a statement. So I like that line up front, and even though Matthews isn't scoring, the first line has started to come around a bit lately. I've been giving Morgan Rielly a lot of heat about how he plays defensively, but through 6 games, he's been good offensively, guys. He's tied for 6th in the league in scoring by defensemen. He's 1 or 2 off the pace here with the team with 5 points. 5 points in 6 games. I mean, we do need him to jump up and be an offensive force. He's done that. I also like Rasmus Sandin because we're not hearing much from him.
Yep.
It was a huge question mark, guys. Was he going to be able to step in with half a camp and go play the right side? He hasn't been great defensively, but he's been okay, and he's chipped in with 3 points. I like that so far. But the best thing I've seen so far is something that, we needed something like this to happen, right, Mike? We said either Murray or Samsonov has to take the crease, has to be good and good early. And fortunately, Samsonov has. My goodness, he's, I think, 5th in the league in save percent or goals against average. He's sitting on a 193 or something like that. He's won all his games. That is good stuff for us. Just what the doctor ordered. I kind of worry about playing him too much, but for now he's been really solid. So there's a lot to like so far.
Yeah, agreed. Certainly in the last couple of games, our last pod, we ragged on Riley a little bit there. Who was showing a -5, I think, through 4 games, and he got a couple of those back in the last 2 games, so that's good to see. And obviously Hall had a terrible performance a few games ago. Nice to see him be calm and steady again, and somewhat of a rock on those PKs. That's great stuff. All right, KD, last couple of games, what didn't you like?
Let's run through some of these clips here. I'm going to have Coach help me a little bit from the defensive perspective. So we're going to put up the clip, the pick here, number 1. This is a lost puck in the offensive zone. It turns around. Winnipeg comes back through the neutral zone. It's a pretty good line actually. Perfetti, Dubois, and Wheeler. They do a little crisscross at center. Now we're in pretty good position. You see in this first pick, the first circle guy there, that's Hall. We have Sandin right there, and then the first guy back is Kerfoot, and then even in the back there we have Yarncroc. But if you notice, if you're looking at the circles here, the D are always going to concentrate on the first 2 guys, the guys who are the biggest threats at that time, and they have to hold their positions. So, I always use a rule of thumb. If as a forward, if you can't catch the guy with the puck and or the first guy, you need to go and take the trailers. Like that's you're doing your D a favor there, right? So we see that in the first clip. Now let's put the next clip on here, and we'll notice that in that first spot. Coaches probably would be pleased with Hall. He's closed off. In this case, this is Perfetti takes the puck off the little cross here, and he jams the brakes on it. Hall has him dead to center. Now Wheeler cuts through. Wheeler here cuts through the zone. He's taking a run. He's going to drive the net. That's really his job. And as you can see, Kerfoot is still zeroed in on him. He's let him go to an extent, but he's not swiveling. He's watching Perfetti exclusively with the puck. You can also see Yarncroc there too. Yarncroc, his job is really to take the defense. His job is to take the deep trailer, but he's not watching anything but the puck carrier. No one has watched Dubois on the far wing, and certainly he's getting even more open here. So you'd like to have, first of all, Kerfoot turn around. I'm not sure if he needs to be guided by the defense, but he has to have his head on a swivel. His job is the trailer. His job is not the first 2 guys. So, Coach, if you're going in and I'm back checking, which you weren't too used to when we played together, and and I'm chasing down guys coming back in, who do you want me to take? Like you want me to double guys up with you?
No, you take the guy you can catch, right? So if I can keep the guy in front of me and I just know I have my guy, then that's great. If 2 are on one person, the likelihood is someone else is open. Go find the open guy and cover him up. I'm with you here, Kev.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I will give Yarncroc a bit of a pass here because he's expecting Kerfoot to really take the trailer. However, if you're just going to stand there in the middle of the ice, even if you're back and watch the puck and not pay any attention to anyone around, he is partially at blame here. So let's quickly put it to the third pick. Now, again, Hall has his guy very nicely. You can even see Sandin has taken Wheeler all the way to the net. That's fine. We can go to the next. I think that looks good. Now we realize that the puck has come across to Dubois, and both Yarncroc and Kerfoot realize, oh shit, like this is our guy. This is the guy we were supposed to take. So we see them now. The attention has turned. So I will say, okay, it wasn't good at identifying where the threats were, and they missed it. However, look where Dubois is. He's in the high slot on the outside of the circle. He's not in a great scoring area there at all. So it's not terrible. They lost him early, but they have definitely a chance to squash this offensive play. And then what happens? We'll move it to the next slide. That he shoots and Kerfoot goes right past them. He doesn't even come close to stopping. He flies right by the net into the corner, and Yarncroc doesn't decide that he's going to take him either. He's just going to stand in the middle of the ice. So we've gone from a situation where we misidentified where the threats were. We did not backcheck and take the easy guys. We could have taken Wheeler out of that play. It would have been a problem. At least could easily have done it. But even the worst problem was the flyby. It's a bad thing to fly by the offensive zone's net. It is a sin to fly by your own. You never do it. And Kerfoot knew he made a mistake there, and he still flew by. And we can, the next slide here, slide number 5, we can confirm the flyby it was. Kerfoot flies by him. He still doesn't go to Wheeler. This is after the shot, before Wheeler goes to take, or Dubois, before Dubois goes to take his rebound. Kerfoot has already flown by him. He's already in the corner. So that's a play where, Coach, if you had seen your guys do this in Detroit, they'd probably get benched for a shift or two, right? Like there were 2 mistakes there. The second one, it was a critical mistake. And that's stuff that you have to get out of your game. Even Craig Simpson, if you listen to the tape again, he goes, that's a play Kerfoot can't make. Like, everyone knows you can't make that play. If you get one chance, if you miss on a back check, he was allotted 2 chances. Usually you miss that chance to get scored on. He still had the chance to break it up, and he blew it both times. And the second one was, as you would say, Coach, egregious.
It was.
It almost looked like Yarncroc in that first clip there is actually trying to communicate to Kerfoot to actually peel off. Like, he's not going to get there. It looks like he's basically motioning, like, I'm not getting over there. You've got him. Take Dubois.
Right.
But Kerfoot's just watching the puck. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And then he skated right past. Had he just gone and stood in the middle of the ice and made Dubois go around him, they probably don't score there. So I think, just a play where it's a 3-on-4. There is no reason for a goal to be scored here. They had plenty of chances to break it up. And that's elementary hockey. That's not getting out-dueled by guys who are just too fast or too strong. That was simply making a bad decision and then almost not caring. Like that's the last play. That flyby, he's looking almost to try and get a rebound and go the other way. And that's not his job. And he's playing center here. As a center, you never ever do that. You have to get yourself back in that slot, and you need to do whatever you can to make sure that second rebound doesn't come. So that just a little something to clean up. For the most part, I thought the game against Winnipeg, they played fairly clean. Winnipeg, again, is a big, strong team. They will go to the net. They will cause lots of havoc. And the Leafs, for the most part, hung in there. They got maybe a post or 2, which helped. But, I thought for the most part they handled Winnipeg's size and aggressiveness fairly well. This was an easy mistake that they could have been a shutout without this.
Right. Coach, what about you? What didn't you like?
Kev, that's ripped right from the Texas Tigers locker room. Like, we talked pre-game and unfortunately post-game quite a bit. You got to stop on pucks, and you got to check your shoulder. You got to see what's coming so you know what to take away, right? Yeah. So just in general, over 6 games, I'll be quick here. A couple things I haven't liked. One would be Pierre Engvall. Pierre Engvall is a healthy scratch against Winnipeg. Played 5 games. Was he a -3, I think? We had hoped for big things out of Pierre Engvall. He got out of that whole 4th line mix, and he was on the 3rd line. Really hasn't done much. When you're scratched for Kyle Clifford, I know it was a chippy game and they wanted some toughness in there. Pierre Engvall's 6'5". If he can't be tough and you need to replace him with Clifford, that is not trending well for us guys. And then obviously the injuries are a concern here early. Now, the injuries short term here to Murray and to Muzzin have given us a lot of flexibility. We look like a regular NHL team in that we're able to shuttle guys in and out, play different guys in different games, and there's a lot of advantage to that. Able to bring Robertson up and get him some time, and he looks like he's going to stick, right? All that's because of injury. Guys, that's short-lived. They're coming back. And when they come back, we're going to be squeezed again from a cap perspective. In fact, you couldn't keep this lineup, right? Some guys are going to have to go down or get waived again. I think there might be a move coming. Or, even worse, Muzzin's out really long-term. The defense, like it or not, he wasn't great, but the defense is better with a healthy Jake Muzzin. Yeah. The fact that, it'll be better, and I think it sounds like in about a couple of weeks when Timothy Liljegren comes back. But we're not very far removed from Liljegren being a healthy scratch in the playoffs. So let's not tie our hopes to that kid, right? Yeah. If he comes in and is okay, that's good. We're deeper. But, I don't know. I maybe it's fortunate that we're able to use this cap space and get off to a good start here, but the Reaper is going to be calling when these guys come back in the lineup.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I echo the same thought about 47. We had some high hopes for Engvall. I know he got a little dinged up at the end of camp there, but he has not been an effective piece, and so we'll see what happens. A lot of hockey to play here, folks. Anyways, this is the time when we start to lay it all on the line here, folks. We're going to look ahead. We're going to try to read the tea leaves, as it were, and figure out what is in store for these buds. They continue on their Western road trip. Monday night, they'll be in Vegas. Gosh, that would be one I wish I was at. Then to the Sharks Thursday. And then they're going to have some back-to-backs towards the end of the week, so that's going to be tricky. This is actually a nice little easy trip at this point. Vegas, Monday, then off to the Sharks. So they've got some time here. KD, what's going to happen?
Well, I like them taking at least 3 out of 4 points here. As I mentioned earlier in this pod, I think the Leafs handle big, aggressive teams fairly well. And so I'm calling for them to do good things in Vegas, and quite frankly, San Jose stinks. So, I think they do have the ability. Plus, they have a couple days off. So I think this will be, a really good opportunity. You often, it wasn't so long ago, you come on these types of trips and you're just barely scraping points. And I think they can do some damage here. I don't think Vegas scares me as much, but they are, again, another big, heavy, aggressive team. So, we got to be sharp. And I think Matthews finally gets going. Like this is the, a little California sunshine and some, maybe a trip to the Vegas casino, and maybe we get Matthews scoring 2 or 3 goals in the next few days. Yeah.
Good call, Coach. What do you think?
Well, of the two, Vegas is by far a better team. They're better coached. Bruce Cassidy's there. He's going to tighten things up. They're off to a pretty good start. To me, predicting the score of the Vegas game really depends on who's going to play net. Eric Källgren hasn't been great. I don't know, but I think they're really conscious of getting Samsonov some rest. So I think, I don't know if it's been announced yet. I could see them going with Källgren. So I'm going to call a 4-3 win. I think Matthews gets on the board. Yeah. I'm going to save the Sharks, guys, because I got an outside chance I might go to that one Thursday night. So we'll see.
Excellent. I tell you what, I'm going to disagree with you. I do not think we'll see Källgren just because there's so much time off between the game against Vegas and the game against the Sharks. So I think they're gonna roll with the hot hand here. I think we are going to see Källgren at the end of the week when the back-to-back start kicking in on the travel days. So I love that Riley's been picking up his game quite a bit. I think Matthews is going to start scoring. I think this is the trip that we're going to see it on. So I think the Leafs are going to they're going to get 2 more wins. 4-3 versus Vegas, and then 5-2 to close out this week. All right, well there you have it, folks. You know why you come here. We love having you here, and we hope you come back for more. Anyways, we'll be here right here on the OZone.